ESPN Wisconsin's Coaches Week 2025-2026 season just about to get underway. We are at the Crest Event Center on campus at Green Bay with second-year head coach Doug Gottlieb. Doug, good to see you. Year two.
Year two. Year one could end soon.
Yeah. But I mean, I know you've talked about it a ton, right? The lessons you pick up in year one, because we talked about it last year, right? Like it's your first time leading a program.
Yeah.
So despite the record, we can throw that out the window.
Yeah.
There's so many things you pick up. You learn personnel. You learn the people on campus who support you. You learn your players a little bit. Like
Yes.
There are still so many lessons despite the 4-28, which I know you don't want me to bring up.
No, you can. It's okay because it's interesting. I did an interview with Dan Patrick when he was up here for the draft, and he was like, is all press, good press? It's like, well, I think part of it was last season a success record-wise? No, it's not good. And, we can go through all the things which are explanations or excuses depending on how you want to look at it. There were a lot of successes, though. We did have the second highest team GPA in school history. Anthony Roy graduated, which is nothing short of amazing. And he graduated in the honor roll, by the way. And then we actually made a mid-season acquisition of a professional player in Yonatan Levy, which had never been done before. Right, so there was a lot of positives. We got ourselves out of APR jail, where the players that left all found a home, and they were all academically eligible when they left. Those are the two things that you have to have, and that's a reason that we retained, at least for the entire season, as many players as we could, because we had to, you couldn't just get rid of a guy if his attitude wasn't right. Like, people don't understand. But the point is that there were some success stories individually with Anthony Roy, what he's been able to do, leading the country in scoring, leading the country in effective field goal percentage, and then, he's making roughly 20x, 25x of what he made here.
At your alma mater.
Yes. And he's a college graduate, so he's a GB alum playing for another school. We have to, that's my job is to get them their first job or their next job, whatever.
Yeah.
And then we've rebuilt it. And then you take the lessons. Hey, what am I missing? What do I need? And what is this program missing? What does this program need? What does this team missing? What does this team need? And then try and make adjustments to it, and that's all we've been doing.
But I think the interesting thing for you is you were such a late hire last year. You got a full off season this year, right? You got a full off season to rebuild the roster, look at the portal.
Yeah.
I mean, a little bit different than year one in that aspect.
Completely different.
Yeah.
I mean, and again, if somebody doesn't like me or think I'm an idiot, they're allowed to. And I'm not making out like I got the job in August. I got it in May. But for people to understand, the portal opens in March, and it's like if you go to Best Buy the day after Black Friday, they have the same sales, just everything's gone, right? There was already a mom from Sheboygan and a mom from Ashwaubenon arguing over whatever the last deal was. So you're left with a bin of freshmen, which we had 8 of them at the end of the year, or guys with marks against them. Mm-hmm. And we took a couple of chances, couple missed. We thought Anthony hit, but obviously he got hurt, right. 10 games in. And then we took freshmen, and we wanted to develop guys. And the guys that have remained have really improved. And the players at the end of the year had really improved. They just weren't old enough, weren't good enough, weren't tough enough, weren't athletic enough to complete so many of those close games. Mm. So, and then I got to get better. We did get it late. I'm not going to sit here and go, I had the perfect plan. The year before, I had a staff in place. I knew what I would have done. If I could do it again, I probably would have hired a Division II head coach and brought 2 or 3 of their players so that you have a culture, you're already established. Because we literally had to start from scratch.
Yeah.
Right? We didn't have really anybody from the portal coming in, because the guys that had signed with Sonny in the portal, and then I had to start over. He took 2 of them with him to Wyoming,
right.
And a couple of the others didn't want to stay. I didn't even get a chance to have a conversation with them. So you start with 5 guys, you build a culture, and then you figure out, okay, who wants to stay, deserves to stay, and do we think is good enough to take that next step? And then we did the same thing with the staff.
So you mentioned that 10 new guys from the portal,
Yes.
and then 3 new assistant coaches.
Yes.
So total rebuild
Makeover.
in your makeover. Yeah, better word choice.
Yeah.
In year 2, a couple of your assistant coaches though caught my eye, specifically Kerry Rupp. What does he bring, and how is he assisting you as you get ready for season 2?
It's awesome.
Yeah,
He's
20
young.
years of D1 experience.
Yeah, and then 20 more of high school coaching experience. And remember, he was Rick Majerus' assistant, who Rick obviously was a savant. He actually replaced Coach Majerus at Utah as his interim coach when Rick left Utah. He was a head coach at Louisiana Tech, been assistant coach to Mike Davis at Indiana, at Detroit Mercy, and at UAB as well. I mean, that level of experience as a teacher, one, to teach me, and then 2, to teach our players. You know, I think that we do a pretty good job of, like, I tell our coaches, if we get close, I think I can get them in terms of the old school recruiting. We're never going to be the top bidder, and there are guys financially that are just out of our realm right now where we are. Eventually we'll get there. But if we get close in recruiting, I do think I can get them. So with Coach Eric Sanders, who is our recruiting coordinator, Coach Rupp has a bunch of connections, and myself, my international connections. We feel like players, once we had them on campus, okay, now how do we teach them? How are we experts at execution? Because I can get him to play hard, but we want to execute. Well, he's an excellent teacher. He worked for the best, and he's good in his own right. And I had a pre-existing relationship with him.
Right.
He worked with my brother at Oregon State. And when my brother came, I had several head coaches, assistant coaches come, spend a week to a couple days with us, give me notes, meet with me. And I would always ask them, what does my program need? And my brother said, like, you need teachers. So I hired Kerry Rupp, I hired Andy Ground. Andy Ground was my head coach when I played in high school, all 4 years. And then he became the best junior college coach in California. And he is a teacher. He's a teacher by trade, and he's a teacher by style. And the same thing with Kerry Rupp. They're unbelievable dudes for being 71 and 63. They have more energy than anybody, but they're expert teachers, and we need to be really good students as both coaches and players.
Marcus Hull was your second leading scorer last year. You got him back this year.
Yep.
How exciting is that, and what kind of role do you expect him to play for this team?
I would be very surprised if he's not, he's preseason first team All-League, if he's not first or second team All-League, right? If he's not, it's because we failed as a team. And, that was the part of the preseason poll that made no sense. He's first team and we're picked last. Like, those two things never happen.
No, they don't. You're right.
Okay. So last year we played him, and I purposely did so. I played him out of position. I played him at the 5 a lot. Until we had Yonatan Levy, we didn't feel like we had consistency at the 5 from other guys. 2, we want to create a mismatch for him offensively, because when he's at the 3 or the 4, athletically he's not elite. So we can really space the floor for Anthony, who I played at the 4. Problem was, it hurt us rebounding at the other end. We had all kinds of fun on offense, no fun on defense. But he also had mono right before the season. Right when he got back to school, he had mono. He got down from like 218 to 198, I think. So he was playing in the low 200s early in the year, and then it's just hard to play catch up. So he's now at 228, 229, looks like a different human being. And he's really grown in his leadership. Last year, after every loss, he would text me some apology. Coach, I'm sorry, I let you down here. He got hurt in a bunch of the games that we were winning. Providence were up 2, and then he rolls his ankle. He's out for 5 minutes, falls apart. Same thing happened. He didn't play a couple games in the league because he hurt his knee. So literally every game I get back, I look at my phone, there's Marcus. So we met, and he's like, what can I do better? I said, well, you can stop apologizing and start just lead. He's stronger. He knows, okay, if this type of guy is guarding me, here's where I should get the ball. If this type, here's where I should get the ball. I challenge guys, like basketball IQ it's a term everybody uses, but what is it really?
Yeah.
You got to process time, score, situation, and how our team should be playing, and then your own personal momentum. Have I been hitting shots? Am I missing shots? It's the guy who's guarding me. Is he pressing up on me? How is he guarding me? Then you have to KYB, right? Know your boys. Who's on the court with you? It doesn't make any sense for you to be going one-on-one when there's a better one-on-one guy who's going to kick it to you. Doesn't make any sense for you to post up when there's 2 other post players on the floor. So you got to KYB. Don't give your guys the ball in a position they're not going to be successful, and they need to know where you're going to be most successful. And then the final step, and this is when they're really smart, is understanding how they're guarding you, how they're guarding your actions, and then who's guarding you specifically. Okay, if I have a 5 on me, if I'm Marcus, okay, I want to set screens and pop, or I want to be in constant movement, because 5s, for the most part, play within the free throw line to the 2 blocks, and they play in the drop, especially in college basketball. That's when he can feast, right? Now, if he's guarded by a smaller player, last year we were, go down the post, throw it into you down there. But he wasn't strong enough, he wasn't confident in it. Now he is. So he knows that third level of basketball IQ. Time score situation, he was coached really well at DC Evereston coming up. Like, he's understood that. KYB, he knows. He has pretty good feel. We're still trying to get feel for our guys and what some of the new ones do. But in terms of who's guarding, how they're guarding, and how I can be successful, he's taken that step, and he's also weaponized himself with a body and a skill set that can do it.
It doesn't seem like you've thought about this at all.
Oh, I mean, this is all I think about.
I can tell. I can tell. You also love your acronyms. You use KYP, though, know your personnel.
Yeah.
One of your favorites, though, is OKGs.
Yes.
Okay, guys. That's what you recruit here to Green Bay.
Our kind of guys.
Our kind of guys.
Yes.
Sorry.
Our?
Yeah,
right?
Okay. I thought it was okay, guys. I got it wrong. That's on me, Doug. But our kind of guys.
Yes.
I don't know if anybody epitomizes that better than a returner this year in Preston Rudinger. Rudy, who you already said you're going to offer him a coaching job next year here?
Yeah.
That's real.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Why wouldn't I? I mean, his dad was his coach in high school. His dad's awesome. He thinks of it like a coach. He leads like a coach. And then he goes out there and works his tail off. He's always getting hurt. He's already hurt this year. It was like a running joke when I'd go and I'd bring in. Here's how cool a kid he is. We're trying to get everybody contracts for they make a little bit of money. Mm-hmm. And so I called him. He was at a Brewers game with his family. I want to say like May, because he had told me like, hey, don't worry about me. I know you'll give me a little bit more money, but just build a good roster. Let's just go win.
Yeah.
And then if you have any money left over, fine. So I called him. Hey, good news. You're at the game. You can buy beer tonight because this is what I'm going to pay you for now, and I can bump you up a little bit more. If this, and this happens. We have a very open, honest relationship.
I love that.
So he didn't tell his family anything because he's like, I'm not taking a raise until you have a full roster, right? But we kept bringing other guards in, and I would joke with him like, hey, we're going to bring this guy in for when you get hurt. So, because last year he got a concussion. He missed Western Illinois and Providence. He had a knee thing that we thought was worse than it was. He missed a bunch of practices in another game early. Then he got the concussion against Michigan Tech. Like, we're up 13. He's doing a great job in Tomashik, and then he gets a concussion. Then late in the year, he tore his oblique, and so he missed the last 5 games. So, I mean, he's just like, and then this summer, he had 2 really bad ankle sprains. So then he comes back, and we talked about, hey, let's not have you practice live. Let's not have you do this. Let's sit you out. And he's like, you don't need to put me in a bubble. I'm not going to get hurt. We play one exhibition game, and
here we are.
Breaks his index finger on his non-shooting hand.
Will he be ready for a regular season?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I mean, right now he's playing with a big thing on his hand, whatever, but I don't really want him playing against Kansas like that. That's suboptimal.
Yeah, I would say suboptimal is probably a fair word for that.
So he's great. I mean, we have a really good relationship. And then, you got 10 new ones that you got to build kind of rapport with. And that's always a challenge.
And obviously that's what this time of the year is for. But Doug, as I'm looking at your roster, a name popped out to me. Can you guess which one that was?
Mel Basea?
Actually, no. It was the first name. It was the first name that popped out to me.
LeBron Thomas?
Yeah, when you have a guy named LeBron on your team.
We're recruiting a kid named MJ.
Oh, really?
He knows who he is. He's in the state of Wisconsin. I'm not allowed to say his name.
Yes.
But we're like, he was here and unofficial.
Yeah.
And we're like, dude, you got to come. We're going to have MJ.
We're going to have LeBron and MJ on the same roster. I love that. I love that as a selling point. But LeBron Thomas, who NJCAA JUCO guy.
Yeah.
But first team, second team in his 2 years in JUCO. Yeah. Scored 11 points in your exhibition against Bradley. What have you seen out of him? Is he going to carve out a role for himself?
Oh, yeah. He'll be very likely our starting point guard. He's left-handed, 3 years in junior college, played for they're a very well-coached junior college program, but really conservative offensively. So, when he come play for me, I think of point guard's dream. Like, you can do this, you can do that, and come up ball screen, make a read. He's like, I'm not used to all this freedom. And so I was told, pass the ball there, stand over there, or go get a bucket, right? He's again, bigger, stronger, older. So 21, 6'3", 195. built like a brick, you-know-what house. And he's a winning player. Yeah, again, I got to adjust and find what he does well. So we've adjusted some of how we're using him to attack. But first half, I mean, you look at the improvement in the Bradley game from first half to second half, where he kind of figured it out. And so do I think he's going to be great the first month of the season? No. My expectations are once we get to January, hopefully, is it January 5th we play Milwaukee? Mm-hmm. Got to be good by then, right? Because those guys are tough as hell.
Yeah.
So, but he's a tough-minded, hard-playing, tremendous defensively, very good rebounder, can score, can pass, and all he wants to do is win. Works hard. So
sounds like an OKG.
He's an OKG.
Love that.
Is. The best part was, you'll love this, because you remember when like LeBron tweeted at me. I went and saw his parents when I went to recruit him. I flew down to South Carolina, and we had this great dinner, and we were talking. I get up, and his dad's name's Derek. He's a big old guy. He's probably about 6'4", 6'5". And Derek's like, man, what's LeBron's problem with you? And I go, well, I thought we came down here. So he's like, not my LeBron. He's like, big LeBron. So, yeah, all the social media stuff does track, and people do figure it out.
Did anybody ask you about your beef with Schefter last year?
Not players.
Not players? Okay.
Not players. I think it was just, even for me, it was a little much, like, the amount of coverage and attention we got, even before like the losing streak.
Yeah.
Like when I benched Anthony Roy,
Yeah.
So how about this? The league, the overall viewership of all the games broadcast in the league on ESPN Plus, and then when they had the tournament, was 2 million viewers. When I benched Anthony Roy because he missed shoot around, we got 3 million views on that press conference. So I don't think any of us were ready for the level of attention or even piling on when it got.
But you knew it would come.
Yeah,
I mean, I remember talking about it before the season with
totally.
you.
Totally, absolutely, and that's part of the reason to get the job.
Right.
I get it, and I thought I handled it relatively well. I didn't know it would be as heavy. I didn't know we were going to lose that many in a row. I mean, just snake bit completely. But I don't think everyone says they want that kind of attention. Live it for a week.
Yeah, right.
Live it for a week. Like, I literally went to the Super Bowl on a day off. Like, we didn't have anything with the players. People are like, wow, how are you just leaving town or whatever? Like, do you have any idea, like, how all the things I did for the program during that day? And no one tracks what Bart does, what Coach Gard does, or what Shaka does. Like, I don't know what he does on his day off.
Yeah.
Right? So, and again, the point was, I'm used to being questioned on things. I'm used to, there's been media backlash over whatever. 20 years, you're going to say something stupid at some point, right? But the guys here were like, oh, boy, we're not really ready for that. So the assumption is when we start winning, you're not going. The same people aren't going to mea culpa.
Yeah.
But if half of them pay attention, that's 10x, 20x to whoever paid attention.
No, Green Bay basketball is more talked about in the last year than it ever has been. I think that's a matter of fact as somebody that covered this program for years. But how do we get that to translate to butts and seats? Because this year you guys are playing most of your games, all but 3 at the Crest Center, only 3 at the Resch Center this year, which is the least since 2001. How do we translate the attention to butts and seats in your perspective?
Win games.
Yeah.
Play a style that this town likes. Be out in the community and have them understand where we are as a program. I just win games. I mean, the way our guys, we were 3rd in attendance in the league last year, and we stunk, but the kids played really, really, really hard. And this town wants the program to be great. They want to get back to where it was with the Brown County when it was packed every night and Coach Bennett was the coach. And we'll get there. But you can't get there by cutting steps, cheating steps. Mm-hmm. And, we're still not out of the woods schedule-wise. Some of that's me, like Santa Barbara's me. I'll take the blame. I try to take them to Santa Barbara. They're one of the top 10 mid-majors in the country. We already played Bradley. They're a top. We have Yale in the Virgin Islands, and then probably Charleston in the Virgin Islands. Those are, again, elite programs in mid-major. St. Thomas, which is scheduled previous to me.
But you get better playing teams like that.
You do. But again, most people don't pay attention to that, right? They just don't. They just see, it's like we were up 15 on Santa Barbara, or 18 on Santa Barbara. Mm-hmm. We're up 8 at the half. Anthony broke his ankle early in the second half. We lost the game. All they see is the box score. We're like, we were just figuring it out, playing really, really well. St. Thomas is really good, really good. But you lose them because they hadn't been Division I. People are like, well, is that a Division III program? Like, no, St. Thomas is really good. People just, all they want to do is look at box scores and final scores and records and not realize this league, if you're playing guarantee games, we played 4 of them last year. Those are games you're not expected to win.
Yeah.
And then we're going to be an underdog in probably all but 3 of our non-conference games. And that's okay. And then by next year, we'll have at least 5 non-conference home games in Green Bay. And then probably 7 outside of Green Bay. This year we have 3. So you're at a disparity schedule-wise to start. And it really doesn't matter till you play in the Horizon League.
Yeah.
And the Horizon League is going to look crazy because, like Oakland, they play 8 guaranteed games.
Right.
So they'll have 8 losses to start the year, right? So you're like, well, Oakland, they're 4-8. Like, yeah, but they played Arkansas, Kentucky, whatever. You know. So the challenge is when we play Kansas to not lose confidence in ourselves, because then we play Buffalo. Now that's a game we think we can be competitive in. Buffalo, MAC conference school on the road. Like that's one in which we got to go out and have if you start to win those games and everybody here watches, you just kind of build it up.
Yeah, and something, and just a couple more minutes with you, Doug. I appreciate you taking the time as always. But something I saw you right after last season was, nobody prepares you for how hard it is to play at home, right? Everybody says, oh, you know how hard it is to play in a tougher road environment. But for you, it's hard to play at home because you go 4-28. There's so many people here that are either donors of the program or supporters of the program in some capacity.
I don't think it's just me though.
Do you think that's universal?
Yes, I think it really changes how you coach at times.
I had never heard a coach say that though about playing at home, and I'm sure people. Okay, well, here's a real conversation. We have Isaiah Miranda last year, who he just struggled at times emotionally in terms of acting the way you want him to act and focusing and being a good teammate. And so, you'd play a game, and after a game, win or lose, you kind of got to go face the music as a coach. And I don't just mean the media. Like when we play down at the Resch, you go to D2, which is a bar right next to it. Then you go to the bar and you talk to all the donors. And they'll all come up to you like, hey, how come you don't play Miranda? And then we play Michigan Tech, right? And he gets a bad technical foul and shoots a crazy shot. And they're like, that's why you didn't play him. But you're sitting there and you know that there's a reason that you're playing guys, not playing guys, because you see them every day. You have a staff. You work on, should I play this guy? Should I not? And all they think about is, well, I gave X amount of dollars, and I know he's making that much money. Right.
Are you wasting my money?
So that's why I say I've never heard a coach say that, but you're right about it.
Yes.
It's such a fascinating concept I've just never heard until I read it in your piece.
That's the reality. The reality of it is their money is paying for those players.
Yes.
Okay, for those players. And so
how do you balance that? I mean, like you try not to overcoach it, you try not to overthink it, but
you got to coach to win. You got to go meet with your staff. You got to make hard decisions. And again,
part of that is at the end of the day.
Part of that is also in recruiting though too.
Sure.
We tell guys, okay, we tier it. Okay, starters make this, rotation guys, we tier it. We don't have one guy making, crazy money and other guys making nothing. Everybody makes something in our program. But there was guys that were making money and other guys last year that were not. Mm-hmm. And the guys that were not were playing because you have to play the guys to win. You can't lie to players. You can't fool players. They know a con. So if you keep throwing a guy in there and he has a terrible attitude behind the scenes, or he's talking trash on the coaching staff or other players or whatever, anything that can cut out the fabric of what you're trying to build, culturize, it kills you in the locker room because those guys don't respect you. So you have to play to win. But then sometimes you're going to have hard conversations with the guy. Well, hey, why aren't you playing that guy? Like, I'm playing to win. This is what my staff and we came up with. And that's also why you have to have an open door policy with practice. Mm-hmm. So all these donors, they can come in and watch. And if you stay at practice long enough, or we can send it to you online, you can see exactly why people play and exactly why they don't. It's determined long before the game. But yes, it's challenging because you feel the pressure because those are the people that support you. There's a gentleman named Kurt Voss who's in town. Okay? Kurt was on the committee the first time around, and then he's a donor here, he's a supporter here, he runs a beautiful business here in Green Bay. And like, there's times when you're coaching and you look over and you make eye contact with him and you're like, there's the guy who believes in me and like, I can't get them to do what I want them to do. Like, it's all right there. We're playing Oakland. We're up 15 points late in the game and we lose in overtime. And we had them, my staff had prepared, the kids were good. They just couldn't do it. Right? And you just feel like you let all of them down, not just your players down or your boss down, because it's their effort, their money, their time is all dedicated to this roster and to the effort to rebuild this program.
I love it. It's clear how much you care, which I love.
Yeah, I think it's...
You can't fake that. You can't fake that.
No, I mean, but it's interesting. You know, you'll get people like, oh, you know, your real job. Like, well, what are we even talking about? It's no different, by the way, than basketball players.
You going to go to the Super Bowl this year?
San Francisco's a long way away. It's a weird week because we play during the week. So I think we play Tuesday and Saturday. I think I got to look at it.
Might be tough to swing it.
I think I can get the one day in. Just for people to understand, like, why, right?
Yeah.
In our business, like, that's where all of your sponsors are.
Right.
They're all there. So it's not like you're there, you do a show, but then you do a breakfast with a bunch, and then you do a dinner, and then you get on a plane and you're done. Like, it's not fun. So TBD. But again, nobody cares if you win.
I'm just giving you a hard time.
No, it's like Nuke LaLoosh, right, in Bull Durham. You're a little young for Bull Durham. But, like, you could have a fungus on your shower shoes. If you win 20 games in the bigs, you're colorful. Otherwise, you're a slob, right? Mm-hmm. So you can go to the Super Bowl if you're winning.
Yeah.
If you're not winning,
in the middle of the longest win streak in the country, probably.
Totally.
Yeah.
People are like, well, do whatever you want.
Yeah,
right? Set yourself on fire. Who cares? Al McGuire, my dad told me, I forget the number. It was like he made like 41 practices the year they won the national championship. My dad was at Milwaukee. He was at Marquette.
Yeah, right.
Al had a great staff. He would they would coach. Now, I don't miss that many practices, but I have a very good. I put my staff up against anybody's staff in the league, and I feel like if I get thrown out of a game, we have more than competent people.
You didn't get thrown out of a game last year, right?
No, but I wanted to so bad.
So that's on the checklist.
That's a funny conversation. So Eric Sanders is he's 6'9", we'll say 250. He's
big dude.
He's a big dude. So he's a big teddy bear, but he's the guy who's supposed to stand up, hold me back.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got a tee. My first tee was against Evansville, and it was for like it was really for what I said because I was just riding. We were bad. The officials were bad, but I had 1 foot into the court, and it was the Shaka Smart rule, right? Because Shaka had been on the court so much the year before that the guy was like 30 feet away from me. He's like, "You're on the court," and I was like, "Eric, where were you?" He's like, "Well, there was nobody anyway." So we're playing Northern Kentucky. When I say it was the worst officiated second half of a game I've ever seen, it was because it was only before Fort Wayne, which was like an abomination. Mm-hmm. But it was a robbery. It was horrible officiating. I felt bad for my players. So I'm like, I turn to my guys like, "Can I get thrown out now? Can I get thrown out now?" And so Eric stands up, and he's much bigger than me, and puts his arm around me. He's like, "Coach, you haven't had the best press right now. I don't think we need, if you get thrown out, I know you're going to get your money's worth, and it's going to be on SportsCenter. Let's take a breath." So
it's a good guy to have on your side.
It is. So I want to. I mean, it's like one of those, bucket list things.
Yeah, right. I mean, like, are you really a coach until you get thrown out of a game?
Probably not.
Yeah, right. It's got to be on the bucket list.
It's got to be on the bucket list.
The minute you get kicked out of a game this year, I will text you, and I'll say, "There it was."
There it is. Yeah. We can be like, "Yep, there you got me. You got me." I will tell you this, okay? So, and I know you got to wrap, and I probably got to go, but it's so much fun. It really is. I mean, it's really difficult. I have a tremendous amount of respect for all the coaches in the industry because I don't think people understand, like, the coaching, the basketball is the fun part. And I love people, and I've gotten a chance to meet so many in the Green Bay community. But at this level, it is a job. His job. I am the CEO. To manage budgets, our travel budget, our recruiting budget, our NIL or rev share budget. We have to raise money as well. We manage our academics. We don't have Coach Klein, our cross-country coach, is the only person that helps us manage our academics. It's all in-house. So it's you're doing all these jobs, plus you're coaching college basketball, plus you're out recruiting, plus you're the face of the program. And then, by the way, a radio show. So it's a lot, but I love it. I welcome it. We're building something really cool. I'm completely convinced that this program is very close to becoming the best one in the league because it matters in the community. There are programs that have won a lot more in the Horizon League than Green Bay that sadly just don't matter. Their schools don't matter in the landscape. Green Bay, Wisconsin is different. The football team is the Packers, the basketball team is the Phoenix. The women have shown a sustainable model. So we're copying some of that, we're copying some others, and we're building a long-term sustainable model. And I think we'll be the best program in the league when we're done.
Last thing for Doug Gottlieb before we wrap. What are you most looking forward to in year 2?
I get goosebumps thinking about coaching in Kansas. Coach Self's a little bit my idol. He's an Oklahoma State point guard. He's always been great to me. Kansas, I want to give my players the whole experience of college basketball. And playing in front of 400 or 500 people, which some of the schools on the road, that's what it looks like. That's not 14,000 people, Fog Allen Fieldhouse. The rules of basketball are in the building. Hall of Fame coach with probably the number 1 draft pick on the other team. Now you can, when you're at the park 10 years from now you can go, I played college basketball. I played against Kansas. Now, if you can win it, even better. So looking forward to that. I would say, I'm looking forward to, we have some cool trips. I'm really looking forward to Horizon League. It's changed, but we built this team to win in the league. I built this team to win in the league. And by my experience last year, it was incredibly physical. Right? So I think sometimes the officials, when you get down to our level, I know it's a consortium, they're just like, I call a foul, I don't call a foul. Milwaukee was so physical. Our guys are just flying around the court. I'm like, hey, it's a foul. So what do we do? Again, we didn't nail probably as much at the 5 position, but we recruited every guy to be like, can you play in that game? Can you function and succeed in that game? And you can't if you're soft. You can't if you're physically not strong enough. You can't if you're not mentally tough enough. So I don't know how we'll score if we'll have to kick the ball in, but we are not going to get punked and give up double-doubles in the first half, hopefully this year. So I'm looking forward to the Horizon League. And I'd like to, here's what I'm really looking forward to. Sorry, I know I'm getting long. I told my girlfriend this. We were watching one of the Pacers comeback.
I did.
And I was like, I got to be on the other side of a comeback this year.
I want to be the team that comes back.
And wins, where everything goes right at the end.
Yeah.
We were the everything goes wrong. Wait, he's hurt? Wait, he's sick? He's concussed? What happened? Just anything that can go wrong went wrong. I want just a game where everything goes right. And we win one we rightfully should have lost. Where we lost games last year, we rightfully should have won. We were prepared. The guys kept fighting. They were in a good place. We just 1, 2 things went wrong. So that's what I'm really looking forward to. I just want just one game to where I can go oh my God, this is so much better. When things work out better, even though you screwed it up. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Amazing. The always entertaining, the always locked in, Doug Gottlieb, second-year head coach at Green Bay on ESPN Wisconsin Coaches Week. Doug, appreciate the time as always. Good luck this season.
Thanks for having me.